Hey, and welcome to Wild Seat. At the beaut of the University of Florida, the swimmer Haley jumps into the pool for a competition. Despite being a shark in the water, the girl doesn't manage to set her best record. The slip-up makes her think back to her childhood, when she fell short in a relay race. Still, her father Dave would always tell her not to back down. After finishing the event, Haley checks her cell and sees a call from her sister Beth, to whom she quickly gives a ring back. Beth spills to Haley that a terrifying hurricane named Wendy threatens to wipe out Florida, and their stubborn father is still in the danger zone. There's beef between the two sisters because, when their parents separated, Haley seemed to side with their father, while Beth sided with their mother. However, Beth keeps insisting that Haley should contact Dave. Heeding the evacuation orders, Haley starts to hightail it out of the city, trying and failing to contact her father. The storm already makes the sky darker than coal, and the rain and wind lash out against the cops trying to control the traffic leaving the city. Haley crosses paths with Wayne, a friend of Beth's, who's trying to direct traffic as the weather gets nastier. Wayne tells her how to get out of the city hassle-free, but Haley, instead of listening to him, goes off the beaten path to look for her father. Arriving at Dave's pad, Haley finds his dog Sugar, but the place is emptier than a ghost town. In that void, she discovers his old trophies, reminding her of the days when her father was her coach, and the nostalgia of how they've grown apart since the divorce. She calls Beth to tell her that she's going to check their old house, ignoring her sister's pleas for her to stop living in the past. With Sugar by her side, she heads to the city center, where the streets are already starting to resemble rivers. Upon reaching the house, she sees her father's car outside, which tells her he must be there. She quickly inspects the entire house and backyard, but the old man is nowhere to be found. Then she calls Dave's cell and finds it in the kitchen, where a tree busts a window, giving her a real scare. Suddenly, Sugar starts barking, and Haley follows her to the basement door. With Sugar trembling upstairs, Haley goes down and starts to crawl, hearing sounds stranger than a green dog as she moves forward. Haley follows the sound of a radio, and after finding blood on the pipes, she reaches the basement where her father Dave is, seemingly passed out with his leg in a bad way. She checks that he's still among the living, and discovers that he has a shoulder injury that's no joke. Her old man, who had always been her rock, is now in a bad spot and vulnerable. Despite their past beefs, Haley feels that she must protect her father, and this gives her the courage that she has often demonstrated in swimming competitions. But now she faces a completely different challenge, a race against time amidst an unleashed hurricane. Dealing with Dave's body is a massive issue. Haley finds a giant plastic bag and manages to get her father's body onto it to take him upstairs. But when they're near the stairs, a crocodile appears, having entered the house through the drainage pipe thanks to the torrent of water that's pouring in. The creature tries to give them a scare, but Haley, although terrified, reacts quickly and drags Dave to a hiding place behind the pipes where the crocodile can't reach. The crocodile withdraws, but it doesn't go far, stalking their next move. With the hurricane raising hell outside, Haley manages to wake Dave up and uses her jacket to collect some rainwater, which she gives to her father to refresh himself. Dave tells her to leave him and go to a safe place, but Haley doesn't listen. Dave tells her how he hurt his leg wrestling with the pipes while trying to escape from the crocodile. Suddenly, Haley hears her cell and realizes that she dropped it on the other side of the pipes during the chaos. She wants to retrieve it, so Dave tells her that crocodiles can see in the dark, but they can't hear her outside of the water. As she carefully moves away, Dave keeps talking to her so she doesn't lose her bearings. When she tells him about her latest failure in the competition, Dave reminds her that she always manages to come through in the end. Keeping an eye on the crocodile, Haley manages to reach the cell, but when she dials 911, she gets the shock of her life as a second crocodile appears behind her. Haley runs for her life, but in her flight, she drops the cell. The crocodiles smash it as they pass over. Then, one of the reptiles bites Haley on the leg, but after a short struggle, Haley frees herself by hitting the crocodile on the head. Then, she grabs anything she can find around her, managing to cover one crocodile's head with an old cage and blinding the other with a screwdriver. Afterwards, Haley gets into another hiding spot behind the pipes, but then she hears her father speaking. She wants to go to him, but the crocodile is on the other side, lurking. As they hear Sugar barking upstairs, both father and daughter start to treat their wounds. Haley uses a rubber band from her pants to tighten the bite on her knee, and Dave rigs up his tool belt and a wrench to stabilize his broken leg. He also finds a shovel which he begins to use for support and movement. Outside, the storm continues to wreak havoc, and the water in the basement is rapidly rising. When Dave confirms that the crocodiles are far away, Haley approaches the window and sees that there are people at the gas station across the street. Despite the storm's intensity and the danger of the crocodiles, the presence of more people gives her some hope. But they still have to overcome the problem of the crocodiles and the flood to reach them. Marv and Lee are hauling an ATM machine and loading it onto their boat while their buddy Stan is looting the store for food. Haley shouts at them and turns on her flashlight, getting Marv's attention. Ignoring Lee's warnings, Marv starts walking towards the house, but suddenly hears a noise and turns around just in time to see a crocodile jump into the boat and devour Lee. Stan, who's in the store, also hears the noises, and when he looks, he sees Marv ringing the doorbell as the crocodile eats him. Soon the crocodile enters the store, and Stan also becomes its dinner. Then Dave says that since the crocodiles are guarding the stairs, the only exit is the other hatch that's near the entrance of the house. With great caution, Haley moves through the rising water and reaches the hatch, but a bunch of spiders fall on her. After brushing them off, she tries to open the hatch, but a bunch of junk is blocking it. As they realize they're screwed, they hear a noise and discover that Wayne and his partner Pete arrive in a boat to look for people who've been left behind. Wayne enters, while Pete stays on the boat, noticing that the engine is tangled in weeds. When he gets off the boat to fix it, a crocodile surprises him from behind and devours him. Then a group of crocodiles join the feast and have their fill. So we pick up again, with Wayne making his triumphant entrance into the house, knocking here and there, but not a soul seemed to show signs of life. Just about to go down the basement stairs, little Haley warns him, but who would think a crocodile was lurking there? Without skipping a beat, the reptile grabs our friend Wayne and drags him into the water. Haley, brave as few are, decides to face the beast to try and rescue Wayne. But lo and behold, the crocodile prefers to dine alone. Meanwhile, another crocodile has set its sights on Haley. The sharp-witted girl swims swiftly away and reunites with her dad behind some pipes. With tears in her eyes and her heart pounding, Haley confesses that she feels guilty about her parents' divorce. But Dave, the caring father that he is, assures her that none of it is her fault and that the love between sisters was what kept the family together. Without time for more sentimentalism, Dave hatches a plan: distraction, swimming, and stairs. And boy, does it work. As the gator is kept busy with Dave, Haley swims like a fish in water. Dave confronts the beast, and with a shovel in hand, manages to bash its head to death. In the silence, a thud is heard. Haley has attracted the attention of the second gator. Instead of the stairs, she decides to go through the drain pipe. What she finds there, well, a bunch of eggshells and the body of Wayne. Apparently, Wayne was on the menu for the baby gators. At that moment, the mother gator decides to make her appearance, and Haley, brave and determined, pulls out Wayne's gun and fires until the beast is gone. Meanwhile, the basement continues to flood. Dave frantically searches for a gap to breathe. Haley, on her part, confronts another gator in the drain pipe. But Haley is a top-notch swimmer and manages to reach safety, leaving the gator with empty jaws. In her old backyard, Haley sees helicopters in the sky. She shouts, waves her hands, but they ignore her and move away. Our heroine doesn't give up. She uses a garden chair to make her way through the back door. Meanwhile, Dave struggles to breathe in the flooded basement. Haley, with a steady hand, uses a crowbar to break the wooden floor, discovers her unconscious father and drags him to the surface. She begins to perform CPR. Every second seems like an eternity. But finally Dave awakens. The relief quickly fades when they discover that the streets are also flooded. There's nowhere to run, no car to use. Dave, always resourceful, notices that there's still a boat across the street. But getting to it is like playing chess with death. With Sugar in tow, the pair slowly slide into the water, eyes always watchful for gators. Just when they think the rain hides them, the weather changes, and they find themselves in the eye of the hurricane. With a gator uncomfortably close and an alarm sounding, time is running out. Haley decides to take a chance and use her swimming skills to reach the boat. The gators chase her, but she's faster. She lunges into the boat at the last second. Then, Haley goes back for her father. Dave, with Sugar in his arms, climbs into the boat. But lo and behold, a giant wave hits the area and pushes the boat back to the house. We find ourselves in the midst of an unwanted dunking, where our gang has submerged into the water. Dave, the poor chap, is swept away by a water current that has no respect for people. With a scream that could shatter glass, he tells Haley that he'll meet her at the stairs, while clinging to whatever floats around him as if it were his last $100 bill. Haley, on the other hand, heads to the kitchen and mounts the counter like a cat on a windowsill. She spots a suspicious trail in the water and throws something to see if there's any creature lurking. Nothing comes out, not a single bug, so she decides to take a leap of faith to the table. But bam! The leg breaks faster than a glass in a seedy bar. She then tries to hold on to the ceiling lamp, but it seems she also has no luck with heights, falls into the water like a stone. Swimming like an Olympic athlete, she manages to climb onto another piece of furniture and finds a still working radio. She manages to climb the overturned boat, and with the radio sends a distress message. Meanwhile, Dave, who has found a box full of flares on the stairs, lights them up so his dog Sugar can see him. But while he's distracted with his dog, a gator lunges like a missile and bites his arm, dragging him into the water. Dave struggles, but that damned lizard breaks his arm. Haley arrives at that moment and the gator lunges after her, allowing Dave to bandage his broken arm. Haley swims to the bathroom faster than a bullet and hides behind the shower door. But the girl is smart. She lets the gator in, jumps over the door and shuts it, leaving the beast trapped. And that's how it's done, folks. Next, Haley and Dave, our disaster duo, reunite on the stairs. Dave, limping but determined, manages to climb while the water threatens to turn their home into an aquarium. As if that wasn't enough, they have to deal with the attic door. What a chore. While Dave struggles to climb with his loyal dog Sugar, Haley sees a helicopter flying around. Using one of the flares that Dave had found earlier, she approaches the window to attract their attention. But the water is a pesky critter and keeps rising, preventing the people in the helicopter from seeing her. Suddenly, a gator breaks the window with a bang that leaves your ears ringing. The water floods the room like a torrent, and the door gets blocked. The lizard doesn't waste time and lunges at Haley, biting her shoulder and dragging her under the water. But Haley isn't willing to give up. She focuses on childhood memories, grabs the flare, and burns the creature until it dies. With a final breath, Haley swims through the window and manages to climb to the roof from outside. As another gator lunges at her, she clings to the gutter for dear life. Fortunately, debris and the current scare off the beast. She's about to let go when Dave appears on the roof and grabs her, saving her from the abyss. At that moment, Sugar starts barking as if there's no tomorrow at a helicopter. Haley, not missing a beat, lights another flare. This time, the people in the helicopter see them and finally come to rescue them. But the adventure doesn't end here. I'll see you in the next one. Let's go.